What if I told you everything you've been taught about money is actually designed to keep you broke? Seriously. Because the global economic landscape is currently undergoing its most radical shift since the first industrial revolution. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are breaking down a massive, absolute game changer of a transition that is completely rewriting the rules of wealth and work.
Think about your daily routine for a second. You wake up, go to work, and you basically trade your hours for stagnant wages, all while living costs are just soaring, right? If you feel stuck, it's probably because you are following an industrial age playbook. You're out there processing atoms and doing physical labor, while the rest of the world, well, it's rapidly moved on to processing bits and data. For decades, our entire economy was built on processing atoms. Physical goods, heavy manufacturing, face-to-face services. But today, the massive wealth has entirely shifted to processing bits, digital data. Yet, millions of people are still trapped processing those physical atoms, locked in roles that are literally on the brink of total disruption. And the scale of this disruption is honestly staggering. According to some deep microeconomic modeling from the Boston Consulting Group, there's a massive shift happening that nobody is really explaining to the public. 50 to 55% of all jobs are going to be fundamentally reshaped by technology and AI in just the next 2 to 3 years. Guys, we aren't talking about decades from now. We are talking about right now. And the worst part? This displacement isn't your fault. You did exactly what you were told to do. But in a world where AI will soon master tasks we thought only humans could do, it absolutely is your responsibility to fix your strategy before you're left behind.
Let's get into Section 1, Amplified versus Substituted Roles.
Let's make this real with a quick story. A few years ago, I met a call center representative. They were working these grueling 12-hour days, resolving the exact same customer inquiries over and over, and yet, zero savings. Meanwhile, a software engineer I knew was working way fewer hours, but building massive wealth. So what was the difference? Well, the representative was in a substituted role. Their time and highly structured tasks were actively being replaced by algorithms because the demand for customer service is capped. It's bounded. The engineer? They were in an amplified role. They used AI as a sort of cognitive assistant to build digital systems that produced more value in 1 hour than a human could potentially produce in a week.
So, here is the absolute crucial point. The hidden rule of this new economy is, don't compete with the machine, orchestrate it. That engineer didn't fight automation, they leveraged it to expand their own capabilities and output exponentially.
Hey, stop scrolling for a second. Seriously. The fourth industrial revolution is no longer just some futuristic prediction. It is happening right now, and it's obliterating the distance between you and an entirely new kind of wealth.
Moving on to Section 2, the intangible digital economy.
Look, most people are still trading time for money in a traditional economy. But the wealthy, they've completely pivoted to the digital economy. They are leveraging network effects, which is basically this amazing phenomenon where the value of their systems increases exponentially as more people use them. They don't just work hard, they own intangible assets. Think software, data architectures, digital platforms. Because these assets are digital bits rather than physical atoms, they earn money 24/7 even while their owners are fast asleep.
In this new era, productivity is no longer about how hard you sweat or how many physical hours you punch on a clock. It is entirely about how much technology you can leverage to expand the demand for your output. As that BCG data points out, when technology lowers the cost of a business outcome, if people actually want that outcome, like software features or digital content, total output actually rises, and human employment in those amplified roles just grows right alongside it.
Okay, Section 3. The 2050 economic shock. Now we really have to look at the massive global headwinds accelerating this exact transition. Why is it so urgent to pivot right now? Because the traditional economy is on a ticking clock. A major study published in the journal Nature warns that the global economy is expected to suffer a staggering 19% drop in income by the year 2050. And this is due to severe climate change impacts, extreme weather, changing rainfall, rising temperatures, basically disrupting everything from agricultural yields to physical infrastructure.
To put that percentage into perspective, guys, that is a $38 trillion annual loss. Trillion with a T. It's a massive economic drain that will primarily crush traditional, physical industries worldwide. The study even notes that highly developed countries like the US, Germany, and France are projected to see median income reductions of over 10%.
And when you combine this massive climate shock with upcoming demographic shifts, well, you can really see the storm brewing. Developed nations like the US, Germany, and Japan are facing rapidly aging populations. That means heavy pension burdens and an urgent need to automate physical labor. Meanwhile, developing nations in Africa and Asia are seeing these massive youth booms, making them the new centers of global digital demand. Traditional physical labor markets are simply going to buckle under the combined pressure of all this.
Which brings us to Section 4, orchestrating the machine.
But here's the twist. Fortunately, there is an actionable way to insulate yourself from these global shocks. The tools to build these systems, the AI agents, the data analytics, the digital platforms, they are no longer locked in corporate boardrooms. This fourth industrial revolution is completely decentralized. It is a tool set that anyone, literally anyone, can start using today to move from being displaced to being amplified.
So how do we actually make this pivot? First, you've got to abandon that industrial age playbook of just trading your time for money. Second, actively build your AI fluency. Make playing with these tools a daily habit. Third, purposefully transition your career or your business into an amplified role, one that really requires human judgment, strategy, and systems thinking. And finally, become an orchestrator of technology so you can leverage your output across these huge global digital networks.
The shift from processing atoms to processing bits is arguably the greatest wealth creation event in human history, but it requires a totally new mindset. The only question is, will you be the one replaced by the machine or the one orchestrating it? If you want to understand how to survive that 19% drop in global income predicted for 2050 and actually thrive in the age of AI, hit like and subscribe, because the next explainer might just change your life.